do you expect to understand marriage or to understand a woman that a man was asleep before she was being created? Before the union called marriage was made, a man was already sleeping. See, marriage is more spiritual than physical. Marriage is an spiritual alignment. But we all have lived the spiritual aspect of marriage and we are facing the physical aspect of marriage. Marriage is a mystery. Marriage is too mysterious. That is why we are having marriage crisis in our society, because we have forgotten the main alignment of marriage, which is spiritual, and we all are facing into physical alignment for marriage. Listen very attentively. How do you expect to understand marriage or to understand a woman that a man was asleep before she was being created? Before the union called marriage was made, a man was already sleeping. How do you think that you can understand it with your physical eyes, or neither can you understand, or how can you make your assumption to become real if you can never give your spiritual ear to hear? See, Adam was asleep. When he wakes up, he said, "This was the bone of my bone." It was the spirit that tells him that this was the bone of his own. He was not awake. He was not physically observing until the woman that was born of his womb was made, but he was asleep. That means it's spiritual. That means it's more mysterious than a man's understanding. And when he saw Eve, he knew that this was a partner and a union and a companion. He knew that it was a union called marriage. So, but in our generation, men wants to be awake to understand marriage. You want to use your physical aspect, your thoughts, to analyze what marriage should be for you, when the spirit, innermost mind of your spirit will tell you that this is your wife. You ignore that innermost mind of your spirit telling you that this is your wife. You are trying to figure out by physical, either you are looking for figure 8, you are looking for bust, you are looking for a classic lady, non-classic lady, you are looking for a degree, you are looking for a hustler, you are looking for the one that is fair or dark, short or tall, but you forget to pay attention to what your spirit has led you to. And that was the main fundamental of how union was being made. Marriage is not something that you can figure out with your physical eyes or figure out with your own senses. No, it was a spiritual direction that God made marriage to be. And when you made it right, you will have your peace. When you made wrong, you will become totally disturbed. You will be shot, totally downcasted, and you will be destroyed through marriage. And we all has forgotten to pay attention to the spiritual aspect of marriage. You want the one that is not materialistic. You said this one will be too classic, or this one will not be classic. Listen, that person you called the worst woman on earth, when she enters to the right bone of his bone, the man will correct everything and will not see any of that as an issue. When you have your rightful wife, what others sees as a problem will not become a problem to you. What others sees as an issue can never become an issue, because it was a union aligned in spiritual, and God wants you to be with that spouse. But listen, the reason why there is so much crisis in marriage, because we have failed to pay and listen to our spirits. As a woman, you want to be awake. How do you want a man? How do you want to be awake to understand what God created when you were sleeping? That's the number one question. If you can never pay attention to the spiritual aspect of marriage, you will keep on making a mistake in marriage. As a woman, you want already made man, whereby Adam was already sleeping when God created Eve. You want a man who was already awake. When you enter there, you will see that the money or the financial or the status that you want was not what should have give you peace or give you love. Listen very attention. All you need is to pay attention to the spiritual realm, to the spiritual. Open your spiritual ear to hear, so that you will make a rightful choice. You might get a classic lady. At the end of that classic or status, will become a fire to you. You might get a non-classic. At the end of it might become a fire to you. All you need to pay is to pay your spiritual and listen spiritually. Until you make a rightful choice, you will have peace in marriage. But when you make a wrong decision and close your innermost ears, your spiritual man to tell you or to speak, you want to close that spiritual mouth or spiritual ears to be closed, so that you will make your physical choice. Finally, that physical choice is going to land you off journey of no return. Listen very attentively. This is not something that you can figure out. It's something that you need to pay attention and pray to God for Him to direct you. You need to pay attention and pray to God for Him to understand you. You will not be awake to be taking advantage or benefit of what God has made you to sleep before He created it. That's what got you wrong. Listen very attentively. The earlier you understand this, the earlier you make a rightful choice. It's not all about your physical choice. It's all about the spiritual realm choosing for you. The bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh. As a woman, the same is also applied to you. Don't run faster than your shoulder. Don't be speed down what your leg can carry. Don't carry a load that when you want to bring it down, you are looking for so many people to come and help you to bring it down. But you are the one that lifted it to your head. Now you are looking for people who are going to bring it down. This is a kind of saying and a warning. And also, if you have ear, let to hear. Listen, marriage is beyond human understanding. It's beyond physical. It's more than what you can understand if you can never pay attention to your spiritual hearing. Your ear needs to be wide open. When He said move, you move for marriage. When He says stay, you stay. Marriage is not something you force yourself. Remember that marriage is not for the weak. If that ordaination of God is not there, you will enter marriage and run out from it. You will enter marriage and begin to see a marriage as a threat to your life. You will enter marriage and you begin to see that marriage is what is going to stop your career or who you are. But when you go to rightful person who understands who God has made for you, bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, you will begin to see that the marriage is another mystery of enjoyment, another mystery for you to live long, another mystery for you to live the level you are to the next upper level. Until you understand this is when your calling and your purpose as a woman will come to manifestation. And this is where you will be a woman, a man finds a wife, and the house starts multiplying and becoming a blessing to himself. When you miss all these nights, you begin to see yourself falling. It doesn't matter the physical aspect of what you are seeing or the class you want to be or the non-class you want to be. What you need to pay is to pay attention. When he goes to this person, you might not understand it immediately. You will understand it later when the marriage journey has already started. But when you want to understand it right now, you can never understand it. Pay attention to your spiritual ear. Listen well. Open your eyes and be spiritual alert to make sure you cannot choose wrongly. This is for me, and this is what I have for you today. All right.